Hey guys, this is Abhishek from GadgetStudio.com, and today we are here with Mr. Vineet, and he handles the Windows Phone category. He is the director for Windows Phone category. So we are going to ask some questions from him regarding the Windows Phone OS, what kind of updates we can actually expect, how many updates we can expect, and we would like to have a talk with him regarding the Windows Phone experiences and the future updates when it comes to India. Hi Vineet.
Hi.
How are you?
I'm fine.
Okay, thanks for your time.
So,
okay. So regarding the Windows Phone platform as of now, if we talk about the highest number of phones which have been sold in the market, it has to be Nokia Lumia 520.
Sure.
So when we talk about that particular phone and we talk about the updates which are going to come to the platform, like what kind of updates in terms of you can say user expectations we can expect, or if you can actually let us know about what kind of feedbacks you actually get from the Windows Phone consumers, either a person using a 520 or a person using 1520. So what kind of feedbacks they actually give it to the community when they use these phones? What kind of features they expect?
yeah, so there are very different usage patterns for let's say a 520, which costs about 9,000 rupees or 8.5, and the 1520, which is the top of the line phone, it's about 45,000. When you look at a low, I would say a more affordable phone, the user wants exceptional basic things to work absolutely perfectly, and it's call quality, SMS, social media, some of the apps that people usually use like WhatsApp, etc. They need to work absolutely well. So we get a lot of feedback in terms of saying, hey, I would like to see this functionality and I would like to get this, sometimes related to an app, sometimes related to phones. They also want the ability to do more, which is, can I do this with my phone? Because a lot of people who buy phones that might not have other devices and might have just that as the primary device which they'll be using for almost all their work through the course of the day. So if they're using that device for 7-8 hours, one of the things in India that everybody wants is battery life. Want my phones to last for as long as they can. So you get feedback, some of the feedback like battery and other feedback that's related to the hardware, and then a lot of feedback which is related to the functionality they will want, which allows them to do more. Hey, I would like to get more storage space. I would like to get things done faster. And so there is a website which is available where users can go and add their inputs in terms of what they want.
And what is that website?
We can share you the link, and
okay.
I can say it's a long link, so I can just share the link. So but you can go there and you can actually vote for your features as well.
Okay.
You pretty much find.
So what is the most voted feature, if we can actually?
I don't recall last, but yeah, people ask for like, some of them are new features, like for instance, people might want, let's say, the ability to see all their notifications together, or people might want, but it keeps changing. So it's always, you take the top set of features, and when they look at building new features and functionalities and future updates, that's also one of the places that people, engineers look at in terms of user feedback that has come.
The second question would be regarding when we talk about 1520, which we have with us as of now,
Sure.
this device, and this is a phablet device from Nokia, and again we see the Windows Phone OS. So as in the software related features, or what kind of things you would like to say that you can actually do on this phone as compared to any other regular platform which they see in the market coming on different other OS platforms? So what you can actually do on this one, which you would like to point out?
You mean to say another phablet of another?
How do you compare this one with another phablet in terms of the OS, in terms of the software?
Or in terms of the software? See, one part is, which is in some sense related to the software, is the whole, the camera experience that you get with the Nokia devices, which is the intrinsic, one is the PureView experience, as well as the software that comes along with that, which is the ProCam that comes. So from a photography point of view, it's an amazing device. Then on top of it, when we built the operating system for these large screen devices, especially the 1520, you get 1080p, so full HD. So the way you can enjoy your full high HD content and movies is exceptional on a 6-inch kind of device than what you could So literally, the viewing experience is very different of video certainly than you would on any other device. Then a lot of the first-party apps like email, etc., have more real estate that you can actually see more content. So a lot of people who buy phablets typically tend to sort of optimize between two devices. So you know, kind of one device that is more a phone and also a tablet, and so you don't need to carry two. And the 1520 does a great job of that. Apart from the fact that it's a great phone, allows you to take great pictures and allows you sort of, in some sense, three devices in one. It's got a 20 megapixel camera. None of the phablets out there have that size and that quality of camera that's out there. So that's just one simple reason for you to sort of look at that. And then the other thing is that it's a quad core 1080p, so the best specs that you can get on a device of this class. And then you get all the full functionality of, let's say, Office and other things. Like I can literally see full PowerPoint documents and Excel files because Office comes built in with this. So specifically for people who have both sort of a work and a play sort of profile, where I want to do a bunch of things that are more like watching videos and playing games, great. Taking pictures, great. So it's more, you know, the entertainment part of my life, and then the productivity part of it, which is basically from a work related, whether I want to see my emails or I want to see documents, then this is a great exceptional device. You can't get those things in anything else that's out there.
Okay.
All together in one.
Okay. So when we take a look over the updates which have been pushed on the Windows OS platform till now,
sure.
The overall speed of those updates has not been that fast, I would say. So considering as of now, if we consider the current scenario, what kind of frequency we can expect in terms of the updates, and what is the number of updates which we can expect within this year or maybe by next year early on the Windows OS platform, so that it actually becomes a little bit more open, it provides you more functionality in terms of the user
sure.
expectations.
So actually, I don't agree that we don't have that many updates. We've launched Windows Phone 8 in October 2012, and since then we've had 3 updates that have come to Windows Phone 8. So all the users have got all the updates. Anybody who's bought a Windows Phone 8, whether they bought the 920 at times of launch or they bought the 520 even 6 or 8 months back, they get those updates. And then on an average, though there's no fixed thumb rule to it, but you know, if you see the past, then you can assume that we'll have about 3 to 4 updates in a calendar year. Some large updates and some small updates. Okay. And like I said, the functionality and features in terms of user feedback that we get, the market trends that we're seeing, and what needs to get onto the phone form a part of whatever is going to go into those updates.
So talking about the localization of the software, if we talk about especially the Indian users,
sure.
users who are using the Windows Phone, can we expect to have something which is more localized or which is more targeted towards the Indian users in Windows Phone category as far as default or native apps are concerned, or anything which is going to be targeted as per the Indian users? Anything we can expect?
So one is the localization part, one part, the language part is already there. So you can set up the phone completely in Hindi from a menu perspective apart from English. The second is that we've built support for multiple languages, so you can actually have keyboards available for multiple local languages that are available, so Marathi and others as well, or Gujarati, Marathi, Tamil, etc. So you can have keyboard support, and plus all third-party apps have the ability to make applications in whichever language, because we have Unicode support built into Windows Phone. So that part in terms of language is sort of obviously done. The other is Nokia does a lot of hardware, innovation, which, like for instance, longer battery life or higher volume, given the fact that noise levels in Indian streets are much higher than what they would be in a developed market, for instance. So a bunch of those things are already factored into the kind of innovation that you want to see from an India perspective. And then there are a bunch of things that we are constantly keep working on, which is based on feedback that you might be getting from, let's say, India as a geography through the same process that we spoke about. So you see those changes also sort of coming through in the way people use those devices and functionality. So as an example, a device like a Lumia 520 was essentially built for markets like India. Not just for India, but obviously for markets like India, where you need a very high quality phone at a certain price. So you could call that an India innovation in some sense.
Okay. So talking about the Windows Phone category as of now, we don't see any phone below 10,000 rupees as of now in the market. So
Actually, the Y20 is 8,000 rupees. Yeah.
okay, maybe 8,000, not below 8,000 maybe.
Sure.
So can we expect a phone maybe which is lower than this one as well in terms of you can say the price, or can we expect because there is a considerable price difference if we talk about the audience who is targeted for that particular phone. If we compare the 520 and 525, and that is for the RAM and a little custom changes on the back cover. So when we talk about these two phones, can we expect to see any other phone in this category as well, which could actually do good thing, as in the, maybe you are not the right guy, but again, can we expect anything in that particular category in future?
See, we are constantly working on making sure that we get more affordable phones into every market across the world. Because we do get feedback from users. People want to buy devices that are more affordable. We want to reach customer base which is much larger than what we have today. But we want to also be sure that at whatever price that we get devices at, we don't compromise on the core functionality of the device. As an example, you see a lot of cheaper devices available in the market running our competitors' platforms on it, like Android devices, etc. But less than 5,000-6,000 rupees, you're basically talking about 2G phones, and you're talking about resistive touch screen versus capacitive touch screen, and then there are obvious challenges with the kind of capability that those devices have.
Right now, you can actually buy a capacitive touch phone within the 5,000.
Yes, but they're single touch capacitive or dual touch capacitive. But they kind of come at about 5, but they'll be 2G phones and they won't be 3G phones. And so, if you're having a smartphone that you need sort of a certain, we believe there is a certain kind of experience that we would like to deliver. And our constant endeavor is to make sure that we should reach those price points at some point of time, but not compromise on the functionality that we believe is bare minimum to have as far as smartphones. So when the user buys a Windows phone, he's really completely 100% sure. It doesn't matter if he's paid 8,000 rupees or he's paying 45 for a 1520, but the basic his fluidity of the OS, the way the OS is speedy, fast, that is not compromised, and that's something that we're very concerned about. And then using that as a benchmark, how do we really work on making sure the price comes down? Yeah.
Okay. So lastly, talking about the Windows Phone OS design. For example, we have a device like 520 and we have a device like 1520, and both of these devices are fairly different in terms of the screen size. But when it comes to the UI, the kind of application, and again, this is in general, not specific to any specific application, but in general, I see the font size to be a little bit bigger on 1520 as far as the UI is concerned, whereas it is lower on the 520. But I see almost in some, not in all of the apps, but in some of the apps, I see almost the same information being presented in a blown up way on the UI front, on the 1520. So because this is a big display device and people expect to see more amount of details within the OS itself, within the application, so that it is optimized or designed in such a way that it is suited for the big display device.
Detail, yeah.
So more detail. So what do you think about that?
So there are a lot of first party experiences like the email app and the SMS app and a bunch of those apps that are there in the phone, which are optimized for a larger screen device. The OS itself, the home screen, etc., has been optimized for a larger screen device because it's got one more column width, etc. What other third-party apps, since the devices have just started coming out of the market, and phablets in general has generally started coming over the last few quarters, if you might say so, is that you need to build the experience, then the developer has to build the experience for a larger screen form factor. So you will start seeing, as these devices become more popular, or let's say 5-inch sort of becomes a norm, that developers will start optimizing their experience, because today the developer has to make a app for a 3-inch screen to a 5-inch screen, so needs to decide that when he goes beyond 5 inches, how much level of detail that he needs to bring in, and requires redesign of the UI in some cases, or rethinking of how he is going to lay out the app, etc. So that's an effort that we constantly work on with the developers. For it, and there are some scenarios in which, if it's a movie ticketing booking app, as long as it's getting the job done, then you can argue that why would I need to really change the UI. But yes, if it's a gaming app, then I would like to see a lot more detailing, let's say a racing game. So it's not the same answer for everybody, but it's basically based on usage patterns, and then you decide, hey, I want to make an app that runs across every single device and has a very distinct experience by screen size, you might say so, where it's a choice that the developer has to make.
So do let us know if you have any specific questions for this interview or any specific questions related to Microsoft and the Windows Phone OS. Thanks for watching this video. This is Abhishek signing off.